Hey, I'm Brian. Becoming a dad isn't easy. I'm a father of three, and early on, I would always avoid the toughest questions that would linger deep inside of me. Questions I think, if I addressed, would have made me a better father early on. But that's the past, and now I have a chance to fix that. And I hope by answering some of these questions, it can help another dad out there. So, when does this actually start feeling natural? I've been a dad for 5 years now, and during some days it still doesn't feel natural. I don't think you ever feel natural, and I don't think that's a bad thing, right? You know, your baby is they're constantly changing, and no matter how much experience you have, the next day is going to be different, and then the next day after that, and just when you think you get a grasp of knowing what to expect, getting a rhythm, things change. With my third baby, who was born earlier this year in February. By baby three, and by week 7 of baby three, you get a sense for how babies communicate, right? You know what each cry sort of means. Um, when they're hungry, when they need a diaper change, and when they want to be held. It's just, and you might be like this, right? You kind of have an idea for what to do, right? How to communicate, right? They're vocal, right? And when they're crying, they need usually one of three things, right? And I thought I had that under control, but there was this one week where, just around the 2 month mark, I woke up at 6 a.m. or I think it was a little earlier. I think it was like 5 a.m. And that area where it's that time where it's too early to kind of have them stay up for the rest of the morning. So you kind of want to put them down for a quick session, at least until 6, 7 a.m. At least that's what we were going for. And I wanted to give my wife a break and wanted her to sleep a bit more. So I took the onus on myself to just take the baby in a different room, maybe bring her downstairs just to spend some time with her, maybe try to get her to sleep, rock her back to sleep. And this morning in particular, she was not having it. I tried all of my tricks. I tried putting her on a pillow and then rocking her with my feet. I even tried putting her in a car seat and just walking around the room, right? That usually tends to calm them down. The rocking motion, right? Um, Walking her around the room, that usually calms a baby down. But in this situation, it was just constant wailing, right? Um, I thought I had tried everything. Um, so when I run out of options, I do the thing that I usually have the most success with, and it's something I wanted. It's not the best thing to do, but when you just want some quiet time and you're out of options, driving around in a car with my baby is something that usually gets them to calm down. And so it's 5:30 a.m. I open up the garage, I put the baby in the car, I go to get a coffee. I'm at the first one at the drive-through line. um, Drive around for a bit. She calms down for about a couple minutes and then starts to wail again, and uncontrollably, right? Just crying, and my wife had already breastfed her at 5 a.m. prior to handing her off to me, so I knew that was out of the question. I just didn't know what it was. I didn't know why she was crying, and so we get home and she's still crying, and I bring her upstairs to her room and I check her diaper, and lo and behold, there's a little present for me. And I just didn't check the diaper. I thought I knew how to communicate with a baby. I thought I knew what each cry meant, and apparently I didn't, right? And this is baby 3, right? This is 7-8 weeks in on baby number 3. Even I make mistakes. Even I miss a thing or two, and it might have been because it was too early. I sniffed the diaper and I didn't smell poo, so maybe I should have checked inside. But when it's 5 a.m., you hear the cry, you think you know what it means. You think it's just more, she just needs to go back to sleep, and it wasn't that, right? It was something else. And I just never had heard that cry with a poopy diaper before. So, but yeah, man, I don't think you ever feel natural, right? Even with now I have a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 10-month-old. I don't think I ever feel comfortable. I don't think I ever feel natural. We have routines, and we have set bedtimes, and we have set dinner times, and it's a lot of fun being a dad. But now they're more vocal, right? Now they communicate, and now the communication's harder to read, right? My 5-year-old son, he's very, very curious, and he watches everything, and you got to be on your best behavior, right? Because he's auditing all your actions, and he's going to question you about them. And then my middle daughter, she's off and on, right? One moment she's giving me a hard time, wanting mommy to change her clothes, and the next she wants me to stay in bed with her, right? She grabbed my hand last night and just moved me to she wanted me just to kind of get her going with her sleep and just be in bed with her. So read her a story, and just so just when you think you write her off and you're like, oh, this is just the toddler phase, she wins you right back with grabbing your hand and giving you a kiss right before bed. So yeah, I don't think you ever get a grasp on it. And one thing I've realized is, and I want you to realize, if you're early on in your fatherhood journey, is that they grow so fast, man. I know that's a cliche that people say, right? That's a common thing people say. It's just children, they grow so fast, but they grow fast, but they change so fast too, right? Like their brain changes so fast, right? Like the way they communicate with you changes so fast, and the way they just always keep you on your toes, no matter how well you think you know them, they surprise you. And I used to think that was a curse, but it's such a blessing, right? Like to feel like no day is the same. To feel like when you wake up, there's this puzzle to solve, and the puzzle's different. It just, might be a 100-piece puzzle, but 90 pieces of it are the same, but now these other 10 pieces change, and it just changes every day. And, week 7 going into week 8 and week 9, like that's when it's actually fun now, right? Because baby's more alert. You're probably experiencing that. They're, you're probably at a point now where you think you have it, just like I thought I had it, right? Thought I knew what each cry meant, and I just missed the basics, and I missed the mark completely. And And it's okay, because your baby's more alert now. They see things, they want to touch things, they want to feel things, they want to experience things. And you might think that all that fussiness and crying it means you're not cut out for it, but that's not the case. They just want to see you now, right? They want to be held now, and soon they're gonna be crawling and walking, right? So it's just when you think you have something handled, they just flip the script. And yeah, man, that's what makes fatherhood so beautiful, is that every day is unique. And before I had kids, I don't know if I could have said that. And so I say that to say, you might not feel like you're a natural dad yet, and my hope for you is that you never do. So if you're a new dad and you watch this video, I really hope it helped you. I really, really hope it helped you in some way. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.